It's always a pleasure having Tommy from ADA Ninjaz join me on the podcast because their team isn't just putting out a PFP collection, they're putting out multiple PFP collections and doing some amazing things with their community as well. Everything from a upcoming game, a manga series, songs, and even an anime coming up in the future as well. Tommy talks about the roadmap and everything that they've achieved so far and what's coming up next as well. So let's get into it.
Yeah, gotta do it like that. You've been listening to the Learn Cardano podcast.
I have Tommy joining me back again on this interview from the project ADA Ninjaz. And I had Tommy on, I think it was late last year, to go through the project and what these guys are up to. And there are definitely a lot of ADA Ninja fans out there. So Tommy, welcome back to the podcast.
Peter, thanks for having me back again. It's always great to be on the show, mate.
Yeah, and I'm pretty excited about some of these cool updates that you guys are going through and how the community and the whole project has actually evolved since our last conversation. Update us. Tell us what's been going on.
Yeah, look, last time we spoke, I think we were just approaching the season 2 release of our collection. We've come a long way since then. We're continuing to build our manga platform. So we've released about 200 pages of our manga, and operationally, I think we're about every fortnight about 20 pages. That's culminated to a physical copy that we've just released. I can talk about that a bit later. There is some connection to, I guess, the NFTs as well. We've done that. We've continued to push the release of the music. I think last time we spoke, we released the first official song. Now we've got 2 songs and the third one is in development. The first song I think has hit about 100,000 streams on Spotify. So it's a big milestone for us. Community-driven music, that's another thing. We can talk about the season 3 drop that we're doing. We're improving the art style, but then also we're introducing live 2D animation to the entire collection as well. So that's something that's big for us. A lot of things happening in the space. We did announce a token as well, and we could talk more about, I guess, the use case and utility later on as well. So pick any of those you want, and let's have a chat.
All right, so not much at all, hey?
It's only been like 4 months since we last spoke. It's crazy.
Yeah, I know. But that's crypto. That's the NFT space. It's like, if you're not constantly doing these crazy things, then you don't really have a project. Like all of these things you essentially got to tick off on NFT projects. Long gone are the days where it's just a PFP and you're just putting out a 10,000 piece collection and hey presto, that's it. You have to do so much more now. It's so much more work. And the ones that do put in the work reap the rewards, and you guys are definitely doing that. So let's talk about the manga first. 200 pages, so many releases every week. Where are we up to? What's the storyline like? I haven't been keeping up. There's so much going on.
Yeah, so we've committed to 3 origin stories. So, in our ADA Ninjaz universe, we have 3 clans: the Arama clan, the Daisuke clan, and the Yatsuko. So we did 7 chapters for the Arama clan. That's about 110 pages, give or take. Now, I guess, first volume, we've actually released as an NFTL manga. What that essentially means is it's a physical copy that has 2 NFTL chips, which are NFC chips that you scan with your phone. The front page scans; it takes you to like a digital reading experience, where there's a background music, page turning, sound effects that you can actually read online. At the back, it scans and you can actually mint a NFTL, which acts almost like a certificate to certify that's the actual copy of it. So, the reason why we decided to do that was, it comes plastic sealed, and we want people to read it, but then also keep it as a collectible item. So, whichever they choose to decide, it's theirs for the taking. So, there's only 110 copies at the moment. I think it's still available on NFT.link, NFTlink.digital, I think. Yep. I think there's only about 40 copies left. So if anyone wants to get on that, there's not much left to get through. So that's, I guess, a really big achievement for us, a big milestone for us. We're actually doing the Atsuko Origins at the moment, and this next Tuesday will be the third chapter. That's about 20 pages for that chapter, but so far we've, I think, 3 chapters, so about 70 pages of that. So it's a lot operationally to manage, because we do get the community to vote on, what the next chapter would look like. So it's a very live and fluid way of approach, but I think we got it down packed in understanding how we kind of create for the community and ensure that we're delivering every 2 weeks.
Crazy. How do you find that engagement phase of getting the community to essentially drive that storyline? Do you find that hard? Because I'm assuming the community would be split on the decisions and driving which direction the storyline should go. And then, of course, the artist that is putting in their own creativity behind it all would want to say, well, I want to do it like this, kind of like that thing. How do you work with that direction?
Yeah, great question. I must admit it is a challenge. It's always a challenge because sometimes we, try to get some feedback from the community, but we didn't get the feedback that's kind of expected, or we get some feedback that kind of strays us to a different path. Now, as lessons learned, I guess we've started to understand that, the more we let the community in, the better our story becomes, right? Because the more involvement they have, the more they feel like they're part of the story. So we've done multiple different approaches of influence. So some might just be a simple vote, like naming a certain trial that for the manga, naming certain characters, or maybe their descriptions. But we go deeper, right? So we have what we call our story events, where the storyteller comes into the chat, and for 12 hours, he's just talking directly to the community and getting direct feedback on some ideas, right? So he might go, okay, Samael, one of the Ushinabis, or we're showing his origin story. So he has to go through 7 or 8 trials. It's like, okay, let's name the trials. Let's, what's the trial going to be about? How does he go through that? So a lot more deep diving into the creation of a story, which is actually working really well for us because, these are direct ideas that allows us to kind of communicate and kind of create. So different aspects, always a challenge. Yeah. Some are very easy, just come in to the Discord channel and make a vote. Others are more, come in and let's do deep dives on certain ideas and concepts.
Wow, I love that approach. Like, obviously, the quick yes/no votes are always the easy ones, and I see that in other communities as well. But like this deep dive where the storyteller comes in and engages with the community for a period of time, that's pretty cool. That's really deep.
It's 2 different audiences, right? I think there's the one audience where it's just quick, short, sharp. I'll support as much as I can for the short period, but then there's others where it's like, I really want to create story for you guys and I'm willing to put in the effort. So we got to appeal to both audiences. Wow. Okay. Amazing. And what about this music collection that you're building out now? So you're onto you've done your second track, you're onto your third. I'm responsible for, some of that 100,000 plays of that first song, the ADA Ninjaz song. So how did the second one go? How did the collaboration go with the art piece as well? Because I saw that you did like that collaboration art piece with the music artist. I've forgotten her name. And then who are you doing for the third one? And how's that one being built out? Yeah, so we kind of experimented a bit with the first song. We created the process of community-driven, help us pick the genre, help us write the lyrics, help us do this. But what we realized was that if we wanted, to get a great artist on, they would cost money, right? Yeah. Unless you have your really big projects, they're willing to come in to kind of support you there. But if it's an artist, it's going to cost them some money. So we decided to create a music pass collection, and all of those funds will be going into sourcing the artist for the next song. For I guess the second song, we were lucky enough to source 3 artists. So Katie Bell, Billy Martin, and Iago. The 3 of them, it was actually a really great onboarding process and a very great learning process for us to understand, okay, how do we onboard a community that's outside of Cardano into the space? Because, a lot of their fans don't know much about, I guess, NFTs or even crypto. So, yes, they're great artists, but then it's coming down to, okay, education on top of building our ecosystem. So great learning experience for us. Now it's just, okay, we've raised an X amount of money. We're developing the 3rd song. Let's maximize, I guess, the celebrity status of, that 3rd song into to kind of like build that momentum.
Okay. You mentioned a couple of really interesting things there. First of all, the raising of the funds for the music. How did you go about doing that? Was it like another NFT collection or something?
Yeah. So for the second song, the Arama song, we had, Billy, Katie, and Iago. So we created a small collection of 500 NFTs. And within that, there was a set of, I guess, 10 each for the artists. And it was a custom one-of-one piece for the artist. It was actually animated as well. And, we decided to add some extra perks to it, right? So one-on-ones with the artists, I guess, intimate calls with the dev team and the artist to understand, how to create music or how to create NFTs. We added a lot more utility to it to kind of, not just be like, okay, we're going to raise money to build the next song, but also, how do we build value rather than just raising the funds?
Yeah.
It's a two, I guess, it's a win-win for both parties in the sense that, let's say, for example, Katie Bell's audience, she doesn't actually know much. They may not know much about crypto. So how do we, as a NFT platform or a project, support her by educating that community? So I think by her giving her time to kind of help us with the song, we've been able to support her as well in building, I guess, the education piece around her followers as well.
That's really cool. That was my second question. Like, how was the onboarding process of her community that are non-crypto natives into the ecosystem and understand, like, what on earth is she doing? Like, why is she suddenly a PFP as a ninja? What's going on there? Like, did you find many people actually coming on board and understanding what ADA Ninjaz was doing and that there were NFTs on Cardano and all that? Like, what was the result in that engagement?
From the beginning, we knew that it was going to be hard to onboard,
I can imagine.
the wider community, but we didn't realize how hard it would be, right? Because Katie, Iago, I think Billy Martin's a bit of an exception because he's already within the space. People kind of understand who he is with occult archives. But with Iago and Katie, it's a whole different level of onboarding, right?
Yeah.
It's more about, okay, what's a crypto wallet? How do I set up a crypto wallet? How do I set up, let's say, for example, Coinbase to transfer funds to the crypto wallet? And then how do you go about minting an NFT, et cetera, et cetera? We've had to, I guess, create a lot of new content to kind of onboard those people. Yeah. And I must say it was difficult, but I think as innovators or as NFT projects, you always have to have one aspect of your business, which is education. And it's just a learning process for us. It's just understanding that it has to be done. There was adoption, but there wasn't as much adoption as we kind of expected. So we're just going to continue to build over time, and hopefully, as Katie starts to understand the crypto space more, over time, her community will start to understand it more, and we'll get more of the acceptance. But it's a great start for us.
Okay, very cool. So I was also wondering that, like, now that she has some sort of base understanding of what she could possibly do, is she thinking about doing anything with NFTs or is it still a bit of a onboarding process and education process so that she can understand that she can actually mint her music as NFTs, have music royalties as NFTs? There's so much to it. Like, I'm assuming she's still learning and being onboarded.
Yeah, so we're still having that conversation with the artists to understand if they wanted to pursue the NFT space, how we as I guess a business can support them, whether it's by the consulting process, maybe it's actually more of the infrastructure process, or as a launch pad or incubator, you can say. But it's all about education, right? So with a lot of artists, the assumption is I'll just put some money into NFTs and I'll make some more money back, right? I guess that there's a whole new level of, I guess, business operations that they may not have capacity to understand, where it's like marketing, Discord management, community management and stuff. So we're educating those artists, and we believe at some point there will be that transition. We just don't think it's going to be a big drop, like a 10K PFP project. Yeah, it's going to be more about a smaller collection that allows them to again test the waters for the community and to push more utility and direct access to them. But yeah, the music space, the music genre is moving so quick, and I can't wait for the day where we have a full soundtrack of, let's say, 10, 20 songs, and we have 10 artists on board, and we just kind of focus on helping them deliver utility as a collection to ours and their community as well.
I'm pretty excited for that. To see that happen would be absolutely amazing. Plus, like them be able to actually engage with their fans as well. Unique NFT merchandise. I think it's pretty cool. And yeah, of course, onboarding more users into the ecosystem around that way. I think it's awesome as well. And what about the third artist? Like, what part of the process are you at the moment? Are you guys engaging with the community at the moment to develop the third song? And who's the artist?
So for the third song, we're still in the community-driven, I guess, phase, early stages of, because we're doing the song for the Atsuko clan. The Atsuko clan. We're just asking them, if Atsuko were to be a song, what would that song be? So it's more about genre selection at this point in time. Yeah. And that's actually still a contest at the moment on our Twitter. So if you're an Atsuko and you want to be involved in, I guess, that creation of the song, head onto our Twitter and put your ideas and suggestions there. But once, I guess, the list of songs come through, our music producer will go through that, understand the themes that have been, suggested, create 4 beats for it, and then the community will vote on which beat they prefer to kind of proceed with as the final sound signature. Once we understand that, that's when we start scouting for the music artists, because we want to ensure that whoever we're choosing, if it's going to be a rock song, we try to find a rock artist because there is more alignment towards there. If it's going to be heavy metal, obviously, going down that route as well. One of the lessons learned that we got from the Arama song was that there was misalignment with the artist to the actual song, and that may have impacted, I guess, onboarding the community. So again, understanding room for improvement. We're waiting for just the right moment before we start seeking the artists.
Gotcha. Okay. Lessons learned and improving. That sounds absolutely fantastic. Okay. So what else are you willing to reveal here at the moment? So we've got the third collection coming along as well. And you said that you're evolving the artwork within that one. How is it evolving? 2D animations. It sounds pretty cool. It sounds very time consuming. Who did you onboard as an artist, and how are you actually doing this drop with animations in there as well?
Yes. This is, I guess, very, very close to kind of my heart, because we always wanted to improve the artwork for every season. Come season 3, internally, it was we had a decision either to go 3D or do something else, and there was a lot of conversation and narrative around 3D, right? Because obviously Metaverse is really big, and that's a narrative at the moment. Everyone's like, why don't you do 3D? We thought, okay, we can. What are the pros and cons of doing that? But then there was also another option, which was animated 2D or live 2D, you can say. And we kind of just went out, did a bit of digging to understand, okay, is it possible? If it is, how do we do it? Right. Fortunately enough, we have a programmer in-house who spent, days trying to understand from a coding standpoint, can I turn a PNG into a GIF or vice versa, and then obviously random generate that into the collection. He was able to find a solution. Then we knew what the solution was. We said, okay, how do we get a still image and then we animate? Again, we had to find the people, but it was all hands on deck for about two or 3 weeks. We got our manga team to pause the manga for 2 weeks. They went full time on the production of the still images. Our NFT artists got those still images, turned it into GIFs, and then in their separate layers. And then we just kind of went all hands into the generative art, I guess, script side of things. Everything was a learning process. Every step had issues that we had to resolve, but we finally got there. It's about 1.2 terabytes of data.
Oh my!
In terms of the collection, because not only are we doing animated GIFs, right? We're going to give you a HD image of the PNG. We're going to give you a GIF because it's easily shareable in different platforms. But we're also doing MP4, right? So it's a high quality version of the GIF, but has a music stem to it. And we got Mirai Music to do 20 different stems. So that's another layer of rarities on top of it.
Whoa!
But yeah, 3 files, 8,888 collection, 1.2 terabytes of data, but it just looks amazing. Like just seeing a collection, both everything's animated. Every single NFT is animated. That's a great milestone for us to achieve.
Okay, you've told me all this. You painted the picture. Are you going to give me a preview, or are you just going to hold out on me?
If you go onto our Discord, go to Sneaky Peeks, you'll be able to find some that we're kind of slowly revealing over time.
All right, give me a second. It's a little, there it is. And you guys keep on changing the icon. Sneaky Peeks, there it is. And let me just full screen that. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Oh, that's awesome, man. That is really cool. Hang on, let me just play this other one. You can't see, I'm looking at the guy going like this, whatever it is. Okay, you got to fill me in on some of the details here. So how is this actually done? So is it done with an animated GIF? Are the layers animated GIFs and the animator had to create them in? What's the technicals behind that? And then most people are using hash lips to generate their NFTs. Are you using hash lips with the animated GIFs? I'm making all these assumptions here.
So it's Python.
Yeah.
The base of the code is Python. Our programmer, what he does is, so from the PNG, our animator turned everything to GIFs. What we did was we sliced the GIF up into every single frame. So if there's, 30 frames, it's 30 images per attribute per layer. Then we do the random generative side of things, and then we just combine every single layer into an image and then recreate the GIF.
That's a lot of processing.
It's massive. If you look at the programmer's folders, there's just so much going on. It's crazy, but he's made it work. Wow.
Okay. I just had a demo with the ADA Waifus team. Sven from the team there redid the generation script himself. I was watching that generate live during the interview, and watching that generate, it took a few seconds. So it was uploading the IPFS and everything as well. So it did take a little while to do. I cannot imagine how long it took to do 1.2 terabytes worth of data. So that would have been insane.
It's about a week of just running the script.
Yeah. And you got it. Cross your fingers, no blackouts. The computer doesn't crash or anything. Wow. Okay. That's incredible. That's incredible. I cannot wait to see this collection and the variations, the music, and everything that comes out of it. So 8,888.
Yes.
All right, that's the magic number. 8 is a lucky number. Absolutely brilliant. Okay, so what else is coming out? Like, any more surprises you want to throw at me?
We have announced a token, a Ninjaz token, and there will be massive use case for it, which will be our game. So play to earn game. It will be the first of its kind on Cardano. So there's not much. Well, I can't give too much at this point in time. There will be a white paper releasing shortly. But just the simple premise of the game is that it's going to be a basic. I won't say basic. It's going to be an action game that is in 3D isometric, and there will be PvE and PvP elements in it, right? You would have to connect with your Nami wallet. We are doing an MVP first, which will be an alpha. Anyone can play, and then over time we will be implementing the token into the ecosystem, and going all in on the game.
All right. I guess we have to get you back on to another interview to find out a little bit more about that game development when it comes through, and the token and how that all works as well. But I probably want to touch on some of the legal aspects of actually generating a token for a project. What type of legal aspects did you have to go through? Like, some people think you can just create a token and throw it up and, hey, magic happens. But, if you want to go through future processes, such as listing on a centralized exchange, you would have had to have that token go through KYC processes and all these other things. So there's a lot of legals that you have to follow to launch a token. What have you guys done so far for this ADA Ninjaz token?
Yeah, great question. Because if we didn't do any of the legal studies to understand, the regulatory requirements and make sure we're covered, we would have released the token months ago, right? Because I guess the infrastructure is already there, and we know that a lot of projects are already releasing tokens, but we knew that we had to do it the right way. One of the things that we, I guess, had to kind of find a solution for was, how do you issue a token and ensure that everyone's KYC'd? So we are partnering with a company. I can't announce it just yet because I guess the agreement hasn't been signed, but they will be the company that will be issuing the token for us, and ensuring that all the parties that, whether it's a private seed or the ICO public rounds, that everyone does go through a KYC process, and they will actually essentially handle that for us. We're still understanding the finer details of that, but we're very close to a solution. Like I said, we could have created a token 2 months ago, but we're first and foremost making sure it's done in the right legal framework. But then 2, there's a real use case for it, and yeah, we finally find a real use case, which is the play to earn game space. But we need to understand also the maturity of the platform to support the game, and so we're making sure that the infrastructure is mature enough to support, I guess, the back end of the game, and we are very close to that as well. So it's all coming. It's all coming along. I think the stars have aligned for us in this particular moment with the token and the game. But yeah, it's happening. I think looking back, we could have easily done the metaverse concept, right? I think metaverse is a massive, I guess, narrative at the moment too. But we were like, we need to be different. Like, we need to find something that's aligned to what we're doing. And if we're talking ninjas, right, people want to jump around and slash the katanas and kill people, enemies, right? So that's something that we're continuing to find a balance for. And it just so happened that I wouldn't say the token in the game has fallen on our lap. Right, we've had to make it work, but I think we're on the right track.
Amazing. Now, there was also mention about NFT staking as well for the project. Can you talk anything about that at the moment? Can you reveal anything?
Yep. So I think the full NFT staking concept will be released with a white paper as well. But essentially, if we are going to be doing this game, we are going to be implementing NFT staking, and we will call it, going on quests, right? So the Ninja, you're not actually just staking it in a pool or something. You actually go on in a quest, and there will be some, programs, rewards. And so those rewards will be different based on your season's collection, but then also, I guess, length of time as well. And we're trying to understand how that plays in with the actual game, but then also the back end behind that. So we are speaking to a few people to understand what's the best solution for us. Can we even do it in game? Like, imagine if we did it in game that allowed you to kind of go on a quest, do that staking, get those rewards back. I think that user experience will be much more incredible.
Yeah.
But we're taking it one step at a time. Can we do NFT staking first? Who are the people that can support us to do that currently in the space? And we're talking to a few. And how do we extend that to be more aligned with, I guess, what we're doing with the game, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, NFT staking will be coming. It's only a matter of time for us.
Okay. I can't think of a few projects that do NFT staking and might be able to help you, but I'm pretty sure you guys have that totally covered. I'm really interested to see what this play-to-earn game is going to look like. I've seen plenty out there that go into the metaverse side of things as well. Look, anything you can show me? Any previews at the moment, or is it still way too early?
We have a lot of. Not yet. We're about a couple of weeks from showing the actual trailer and doing our reveal. The assets, there are assets ready, but everything is still very prototype in terms of the UI. Because we actually want to get the game mechanics down packed first before we even talk about getting the assets in terms of the Ninja's assets. Yeah. But it is going to be action. It's going to be hack and slash. It will be mini arenas, right? It'll be mini arenas that you can jump into. And the essence of the game is that it's short, sharp games that you complete. And there will be a multitude of games that will only going to get bigger and bigger. So the universe is going to get bigger in terms of the games that you can play. And then obviously we'll scale over time, whether it's multiplayer, whether it's more social spaces, lobbies, you can say. But yeah, I think starting simple, game first, the mechanics of game, because we're having internal discussions about should there be jump function, right? If there's a jump function, what does that do to the game? Should there be a double jump function? What does that do to the game?
Should be
is there going to be a dash function? So there's all of these different things that we need to understand from a game mechanics point of view first for an action game, how to impacts the game. Yeah. Then we have to make sure that that's fair. But then also, okay, now there's a token element coming on top. How does that impact that, right? So there's a lot of simulation going on at this point in time, and it's taking some time, but we want to do it right. And we want to ensure that, come time we release it, it's going to be fair for everyone, and it's going to be secure and obviously fun. All right, fun first and foremost.
Yeah, I think that's kind of critical. Anyone that's building a play-to-earn game or something like that needs to think about the game, the user experience, more than just the token and the integration with the blockchain. Like if you onboard a whole bunch of people and they're all hyped up because they've got the token and they play the game for a day and it is just utter trash, you're not going to retain people. You're not going to build that community. You're not going to draw more people in. You're not going to get YouTubers and influencers or whatever like doing reviews on the game saying it's absolutely amazing. So game foremost first. Love the approach. So I can't wait to actually see it.
Yeah, look, when the time comes, I'll be sending you a message and you can share it to the community, because I think we're onto something. We're onto something massive in this space, and we have the support of our partners at NFT Maker Pro. If there's anyone that can support us in developing the infrastructure for the game, it will be NFT Maker. They understand who's who in the space. They can connect us with the right people, but then they also have in-house people that can support us from that infrastructure point of view. We've partnered with Smokestab indie game developer who's working for us full time at this point in time to kind of like get this MVP alpha game out. Once that's out, it's just full guns blazing in terms of going down that a fundraising campaign, because we will have a functional product. People can see what we're hoping to develop, and then now it's just about scaling and making it happen for the community.
So much easier when you have the MVP to help sell the vision to people. So yeah, absolutely amazing. Okay. Is there anything else? Have we covered everything?
We've covered a lot, mate. We've covered heaps. And I just think, man, 4 months ago, we were talking about, just the manga, doing some of the music. Now it's like, it's full blown multimedia business. I can't talk about the anime too much. We are in talks with
an anime as well.
We've developed essentially the screenplay of the pilot episode plus an 11 episode summary, which we think will be the first season of the anime. And now it's just understanding how do we make it happen. Right. So we're still in that development phase where it's like, okay, this is the core story. This is the canon arc. This is what we want to showcase to the world, right? How do we make it happen? And there's various companies that we're speaking to at this point in time to make it happen. And there is a Cardano project that is tackling decentralized media that we're also engaging with at this point in time to kind of understand, can their community support us in helping us fundraise for the I guess anime as well? Because ultimately, if we can make the anime happen, I think we would be so happy in terms of achieving what we've wanted to achieve, especially for, I guess, from when we conceptualized the project in October. Anime was always the ultimate vision and goal, and we're stepping. It was one step closer to making it a realization.
Can't think of what Cardano related project that would be able to help you with fundraising a movie or a film or something like that. Nothing comes to mind, but that is an absolutely brilliant vision. And you can see all the pieces of the puzzle fall into place. You're starting with the PFP, you're starting with the manga, doing a storyline. You have the music now for each one of the clans, and that's coming together. You could use that in the anime as well, evolve it, develop it a little bit further. You have the gameplay, you have the the fight scenes and stuff like that, which all can play into the anime at the end. I love this whole circular ecosystem and the whole encapsulation of the ADA Ninjaz metaverse. It's essentially a metaverse. That's the whole thing is a metaverse put all together. So I absolutely love it. Well done.
Yeah. Look,
and in such a short amount of time as well. It's less than a year, 8 months or so.
Yeah. When we started this, we said, when we released our first white paper, we rebranded to be a multimedia company. A multimedia entertainment company, and we said, okay, what do we need to do to make sure that our community experiences what we want to experience, what we want them to experience in, I guess, the universe of Nineveh, right? So storytelling is great. Our manga is in production. It's great. That's only one kind of experience. What else is another experience that we can do, right? Music is another experience, right? And now there's so much more. I think the game will be fundamental in bringing everything together, because it's not just a thing that someone does on their own. This is more about bringing the community together to interact on a more competitive environment, but a more social environment. So that brings everything together. You can call it a metaverse if you'd like, right? Because it's ultimately bringing all your senses into many different experiences. And if we can actually scale our game to be somewhat of a social space metaverse, I think we'd achieve that goal as well. But one step at a time, because I think it's just, when the white paper comes out, I think you'll understand the scale of the game that we're trying to release. Yeah. But we want to keep it simple first. Let's just talk about the fun aspects of the game, and then scale everything else in terms of blockchain and metaverse into the universe over time.
Absolutely brilliant. Amazing, mate. I love the project, have been a fan since the very beginning, and I'll be definitely minting a season 3 NFT as well and checking out the game and everything else that you guys are doing. So congratulations, Tommy and the team there for building out such an amazing NFT project on the Cardano blockchain.
Thanks, mate. It's always a pleasure to be on the show.
Awesome. We'll catch up soon.
Thank you.
Like always, links to everything down below for you guys so you can find out more about the project if you're not an ADA Ninjaz fan already. If you are, please leave a comment down below and tell me what you think about the project. I'd love to hear your thoughts in regards to what the team are doing. It's one of those standout teams, especially in the Cardano community. Now, if you really enjoyed this type of content, please consider giving me that thumbs up, click subscribe, click on that notification bell, and you hear more Cardano related content from me soon. I'll see you in the next video.
Yeah, gotta do it like that. You've been listening to the Learn Cardano podcast. Gotta get it hype. Crypto is what we like, but this is not investment or financial advice. Gotta do your research, cause it's risky. We know it is. This show is educational and it's informative. Crypto's the future, really, it ain't no debate.